Wow.
Smells good, smells good.
Photo of that?
Yeah.
I'll give you a phone back, eh?
Huh? Man. So Rosalind, how long did this take to make?
Well, I only made a few because I knew I was coming today, so I did a few, and I'm actually doing a giveaway tomorrow.
Oh, really?
For my darling's birthday, just a koha.
Yeah.
Giving away to 2 families.
So how does that work?
So I've shared it on my Kare's Kai page, and just go follow either my Instagram or like the post on Facebook. Tag your family, friends, and share it, and you just go in the draw. And so it's 24 hours. So I draw it tomorrow at 12, and then 2 families can come pick it up from mine at 4 o'clock.
Well, it's great timing then for coming on the podcast then.
I tell you.
A little bit we can put it out there on the...
Everything happens for a reason.
Out on the internet, the big interweb.
Yeah.
See, Karen's enjoying it. Honestly, it smells awesome.
Good, man.
So what did you say it was called? Kare's Kais?
Yeah, Kare's Kai.
So what's the background to that?
Well, originally, this all started when the kids were still at intermediate college. Well, intermediate. And, costings for sporting and things like that. So I started off with fundraising. Just went from there. And then one day was like, oh, you should sell your fry bread. It really started from fry bread. And my dad's wife actually taught me how to make rewana, that's fry bread. And I was like, oh, really? So I started off naive as anything. I was going to say if, but and $5 for 20 pieces. And everyone, so they went out the door like nothing.
Yeah, they would.
And I was just like, wow, now I do $5 for 7, hello, wake up. And, so I went on from there. I had Ros's fundraisers first, and so I did a lot of fundraising for not only my children, but other children and family members. Built my name up from there. Then a few years later, I branched out to maybe if I could cater. Because I've worked in hospital all my life, from McDonald's at 16 right through to Valentine's and so on, big family. So went into the catering. I actually, one of my best mates, Merenia, she was sort of my right hand at the time, and we came up with this idea of platters and birthdays and things like that. So, and to me, it's like, yeah, cool. It's like Buzz Fiddly, little, I was making tiny teddy cars out of little chocolate bars, M&Ms, and cutting teddy's heads off, and I was like, so, and that went really great, but she moved on, and I stayed with it. Kids were still growing and more, so I continued, because that was like a side hustle for me. And then a good friend of mine, Scotty Williams, he was like, hey, Ros, he's more of the professional friend of mine. He was like, you need to, think bigger, and I'm sitting there in the apron covered in flour like, He's like, RP Catering. So I went from Ros's fundraisers to RP Catering, which was all good for a couple of years, sort of built my... resume up from there, like doing more safe, I wouldn't say fine dining, but like those high tea sort of things, and seeing my vocab is out the window, just heaps of food. And and then this year, actually, the last few months, I was like, it still didn't feel like me, and then everyone calls me Auntie Kare, so Kare being, your like friend, woman, excuse me, and I was like, well, actually, I'll just do a bit of a plug there. When I was on the Whānau Bake Off on Māori television,
so you were on there?
Yeah, I was, and I won too. And
did you?
Yeah, I did.
What year was that?
2016.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Man. How did we not see that? We're going to have to go and sign up to Māori television.
I mean, they play it every year on Māori TV.
Replay your season?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's so funny. I don't know why. So had that. Oh my God, I'm sweating profusely. Must be the hot food. Yeah, went on there, and that's where kare sort of started from, like me and my mate and everything like that. Met in there again. Her and I went on there together. I forced her because she's a bit shy. You know, I'm not, obviously. Yeah, so that's where the kare come from, and I was like, well, kare's kai. You know, we were like, oh, haere mai, come on down, don't be shy, come on down to kare's kai. Like, we were even trying to push that to Māori television, like, you know, get us on a show, we're funny, you know. We want to travel New Zealand and cook in whānau's homes and things like that. That eventuated later on, just me doing it myself, but that was part of another group. But yeah, so that's where kare's kai came from, and that is actually me to a T. You know, I'm like your auntie. Auntie, have you got any kai? You know, everyone, nephews, nieces, all come. They all know where the kai's at.
Yeah.
You never leave my house without a kai. So.
Can we go back to the Māori television?
Yeah.
I saw that show 2016. How did that come about? Did they put out? Did they come to you, or did they put out like
it was a friend of mine, because I mean, look, for a few years, like whānau and friends mainly were like, you should go on a cooking show, or like what's that bloody My Kitchen Rules and stuff like that. And I was like, you know, I'm not about that. You know, that's quite flash up there, eh? Like, I don't want to be a restaurant chef or something, you know. But
Was at that time were you doing the fundraising?
Yeah, I was doing fundraising just started the catering. The RP, well, not RP catering, just the party side of it. And yeah, so a friend of mine tagged me in, and I think her name was Gretchen. She called me, and I was like, hi, you know, and she was like, look, we're fully booked, but she goes, I like the way you're talking, your friend sounds crack up too, you know, leave it with me. And so I forewarned, I didn't tell Mouse. You know, she hated me for that. It wasn't until like 2 days before we were going on. I was like, oh, we're going on the show? Yeah, so she was like...
You know, your show friends, that's how you got to do it. Or you just got to put it on.
Yeah, because I don't care.
Yeah.
You know,
if
because behind closed doors, you act one way, don't you? I'll pull you out of the door.
Yeah.
Yeah, so... Yeah, Gretchen gave us a call back and goes, hey, listen, we just want to pull you in. Can you come down at this time, blah, blah. I was like, yeah, you know, Mel's didn't know. Yeah, so no, we went down there. It was great. It was fun. Mel's ended up knowing one of the camera dudes, you know, so we were pretty relaxed. It was a hell of a laugh. Actually, the guest judge they had on there was, he does a lot of foodstuffs for, what's that? What is it? Like for all countdowns and all things like that in the bakery side of things. So he was judging our cake, and his wife's name was Ros, and I was just plugging that, like, don't let the Roses down, you know. So that was really cool. Yeah, so her and I baked off. I won, so, and I'm proud.
So how many episodes were you in?
No, just that one.
Just the one.
Just famous as in one.
Nice.
And I won.
Yeah. So what was the winning?
Just a big goodie hamper, pack and save vouchers, you know. Me and Mel's just split that. Yeah, anyway, me and the other auntie Kari.
So did they open up another opportunity after that? Like,
well, then my sort of cakes took off, because I don't know if you've seen I used to do cakes quite a lot, like what are they, like novelty cakes, you know, birthday cakes, cakes for everything, you know. So yeah, that really took off. And that was another side hustle along with the kai and plus home life. Probably I think I was working at Valentine's then. Yeah, so.
Sorry.
So that's the kind of thing at the moment is, you know, you said you were doing the platters.
Yeah.
And all that, and you see now everyone has the
grazing,
kind of grazing table crazy at the moment.
People ask me for that. I'm not really too into that because a lot of that shit's store-bought.
Yeah.
You know, and it's, you know, either just produce, processed meats, or, I mean, different if you cure your own and things like that. I'm all about homemade, you know, so I don't mind making grazing platters, but you pay for what you get.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if I have to buy high-end stuff, you're paying high-end prices. But if you're prepared for me to bake it, cook it, make it myself, then, you know, different stories. And that's the difference between my food and that, you know, so...
Sorry for my ignorance. What's a grazing plate?
You know,
Grazing
they
table.
like we could
Yeah, grazing
dress
table.
this whole food up, you know, with meats, crackers, breads, spreads, fruits, treats, cakes. Just make it all look really pretty, bit of greenery around, flowers, and have that for birthdays, receptions, weddings, things like that.
Yeah.
Remember, like my 40th. Remember
Oh
outside?
yeah, that's right.
Oh, really? Did you have a
yeah.
grazing platter for that?
I had I was very fortunate enough to have some friends from church do it,
Oh, nice.
and so we just bought the stuff, and then they came and
Set
it's
it all
fun,
up.
Yeah, because people. Were like,
I mean, it looks amazing.
Yeah, that's when
they
it's
look
done well.
beautiful.
Yeah,
They really do, but that's like easy.
yeah.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
not saying no disrespect to anyone that does them because they are beautiful, but I'd just rather make it myself.
Yeah, well, the cool thing is that because grazing tables, they're made up of not only savouries, but like baked goods and that
Yeah.
kind of stuff as well. The cool
Or
thing is that
slices.
you cover all of that whole spectrum.
Yeah, yeah. And I offer that in my platters now with and yeah, so yeah, I offer that option. Won't come as a. I mean, if you want me to lay it out on a table, yeah, still going to cost the same. Not anymore. So up to you.
I guess the grazing table lacks creativity. Yeah, like there's so much you can do, right? Just different foods and that's it.
I don't know if it's
Or-
lacks creativity. I think it requires some
Yeah,
sort of
I think-
creativity because you've got to
Yeah,
put it out in a
you've got to
certain
be
way
a
to make
creative
it-
to do that because you've got to know colours, coordinations,
Oh, okay.
different eye levels, you know, because some people use different props to bring up foods or whatnot and things like that. And, you know, you can have it coming down like this or going that way or this way. So depends on the event and the person doing it, you know. So it is creative in that sense, I think. Yep.
Come to think of it, I did see a cool dessert grazing.
Yeah.
grazing table dessert
Yeah.
one where they hung the bowls.
Yeah, that,
And
yeah.
they're on the bowls are on different levels, and you just scoop whatever, scoop
Yeah.
Oh, that's neat.
just hanging down.
I haven't seen
It was
that.
pretty cool.
I saw like a donut wall.
Yes, and they
that's
just-
always going to catch my eye. Oh, like
Yeah.
yeah, and so they've got like them hanging up the donuts hanging up on. I'm already, but I'm a bit weird. Like, oh, those nails might have been rusty. So it doesn't contaminate.
Well, you can get the
donuts,
ones
you
now,
know.
they're like wooden pegs.
Oh, he's talking.
So you can arrange them,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I mean, you
yeah.
can even arrange those in different styles.
Yeah.
There's like food is everyone eats. So I mean, the market out there is massive, and you've just got to set yourself apart from everyone else. You know, so yeah, that's
So what do you think your point of difference is from other people's? Because I know we've already heard that because you make everything that would go onto your grazing table and that.
yeah.
Taste.
Taste.
Well,
The
yeah.
taste, man.
I mean,
The taste.
there's like we were talking before we started this. Like, there's no secret ingredient, just aroha. Really, that has been my motto.
Yeah.
The time from, you know, I can trace every ingredient in there to its source. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's important, that what goes into your food. So not just from, it's a potato. Like, where did that potato come from? You know, because you have people like that. Where did that potato come from? And be like, Pack and Save? You know? And that's my second home. Plug to them. No. Yeah, so, and I think that's part of my point of difference too, you know, is people can trust in me that what I put in my kai, any of it, if I wouldn't eat it, I wouldn't expect anyone else to. So if it comes from me, it's not out of a packet or something like that. Yeah, I mean, I talk to my butchers, I talk to the produce people, excuse me, yeah, even to the place where I get my packaging from, you know, so fresh is best, I think.
You know, like you were saying, like you started this as a side hustle, and then eventually overtook your full-time job.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I mean, I'm still trying to get that off the ground. There's like all different T's to cross and I's to dot and things like that. But I mean, I'll still do it, and especially with all this COVID stuff and everything like that. Yeah, I mean, it just gave me more time to think about creativity, really. So as soon as we went down to level 3, and I was out the gate, like, let's go. And that's, I think that's when I came into that cut as kite part of things. I was like, nah, man, I need to do more me. Put me out there, so.
Coming back to when you had a full-time job, like on the way to, because you actually quit your job to do this full-time, is that right? So what was like the process before that, like the plan and would
I
it work
didn't-
and
Well,
Man,
that-
I
that-
wish I had a
thinking?
plan.
And that must have been scary too,
Yeah.
because you know.
No.
It wasn't. Well, yeah, I true that. I wish I could do that. Though.
No, it
That's probably just
wasn't.
me being scared.
I mean, I rely on myself,
Oh,
and if I
awesome.
don't think I can do it, I won't. And if it's a challenge, even better, and I won't stop. I won't quit, and I won't stop until I've reached where I want to be. So, not there yet. So, so like they say, it's all good at the end, but if it's not the end. So, still going.
damn, that's pretty cool.
You know, like so you've been through all these processes. So now, what about the business? Ros, what have you been like trying to get into designing logos and that kind of stuff? Or?
Yeah, I'm not too tech savvy.
Yeah.
I'm still pen and paper. That's why I got a phone. It's got a pen.
Yeah.
If I think of anything. But my eldest daughter, she's had a lot to do with that side of things. Like, she's not too thing either. Like, her work background is warehousing and just been with mum through the years, helping out in the kitchen. The bro did my stencil for my t-shirts just to try them out. Yeah, but that was just my logo that I've got on my page.
Yeah.
We tried that out. Came out good, actually, really good. But yeah, see where that goes too. So when I've got the food done, I think, which is not too far off, then look at something like that, because I want to be not only stationary, I want to be mobile too. I go to a lot of gatherings and stuff like that, but I've been to a few events and pretty much basically just with what I have, which is a gazebo, a table, my boxes of food, and people's trust. That's me. That's what I go on. So if I can get something along the lines of being mobile, whether it's a portacom or a truck or something, I'd like to go across everywhere. I mean, even Aussie, I've got some friends over there and family, like, come here,
Yeah, because
I want to.
I know those places, they blow up. They're really big over in Oz because people miss that kind of...
Exactly,
that
yeah.
home,
And they don't do it all the time.
Yeah.
Or it's just selected markets and things like that. And man, I whack that shit out every day,
Yeah.
And the thing is, the money's good and all, but that's not why I do it. I love seeing people, just you eating that food. I was like,
Yeah.
I want to see the enjoyment, or
Yeah.
does it taste good, or something like that. That's the, euphoria I get from doing food.
Yeah, the reason why I'm not eating is because I can't multitask. So
Because you're a man?
And I'm going to be eating, and then you still will be put my talk for the next 45 minutes because,
I think it's
you'll
camera
be
shy.
"How-"
It's camera shy.
Yeah.
In front of the
right.
camera.
Trying to be polite.
But that they were talking about, you said being mobile, and that's the big thing at the moment. They have those big food trucks,
Oh, yeah.
those kind of eatery things. Because I've been to a few. I been to the one in Te Aratu. They had one at Te Aratu Peninsula. And I was just thinking, man, you're with what you've got and how good it tastes.
Well, when they started, I did go to one in Tat, like I said, and I didn't even have a gazebo then. I went out there with a table.
Yeah.
And I was sold out by the morning,
Oh,
So
yeah.
I've got a lot of customers out that way too. And but then, what stopped me from that? I think it was the weather. And then other jobs would come in and stuff like that. But I just love being around the people.
Yeah.
It's great. Like we did Otahu Festival last year.
Yeah, I went to that. That was, I think Addie's or one of them performed there, and I remember.
Oh, okay.
That's the only thing I remember. That, and there was this
Did you
place.
eat anything?
Yeah, I went.
It's a food festival.
I never saw it. I went to this. There's this Filipino place that we, me and my friend, we found, and it's called Manila Eats. So
Oh,
it's
okay.
they do this. They do the chips and this kind of coating on it.
Can I use one of
seasoning.
your books or something to be a fan?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Actually, I think
I thought that was a
fan in the car.
Have you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Or you can carry on.
It's okay, I can edit. I can edit all this out.
Okay.
You can pause it.
Yeah. Oh.
Or leave the door open or something.
Oh, yeah, true. It is hot.
It's hot.
I was like, fuck, it's hot. It's never been hot before.
Eating
Yeah.
hot food. Oh, shit.
I mean, that's awesome. Especially, man, because I'm always interested in how people, like, I think success for people is doing what you love.
Definitely.
And it doesn't matter
Yeah.
what it is, as long as you love doing it.
Yeah. I mean, if
and-
it's a passion,
Mm.
your love will just turn it into like a profession. You
Exactly.
know?
So I reckon so many people don't know how to do it, and,
No,
and
or
hate the
scared.
jobs they're at. Like
Exactly.
work the 9 to 5 and just
Yeah,
man.
the worst job I ever had, no disrespect, but, was a desk job
Mm.
at a glass place, and all I did was take calls, went to the mall, did the banking, finished at 4 and went home.
Mm.
That was it. And when the people would come into, because we actually had a showroom, we hardly got customers because we were sort of not that sort of, most of our business was mobile. So, I love talking to the people, but I'd get told off, don't be too friendly to the customers and things
Really?
like that, and I pay that extra attention to detail. So we sold 21st keys and stuff. So I'd box them up, offer them the 21st book with it, a card, something, another novelty to go with it as a memorable keepsake. What do you think you're doing? And, with being at McDonald's, Burger King, you upsell, thank you. That was just so boring. Man, it killed me. I only lasted like 6 months,
Yeah.
if that.
Yeah,
And I went
I-
back to hospo. Mm.
Oh yeah. Because no disrespect to everyone working 9 to 5s, but
No,
sometimes
some people love it. I don't
but a
know.
lot of people don't. And that's
Yeah.
the thing. And people that don't probably don't know how to get out of.
Yeah,
Don't know how to get out of that and do what they want to do.
exactly.
Because it's all about putting food on the table, put a roof over your head at the
That's
end of the
right.
day.
You can't risk that.
Yeah.
That's that, especially when you've got a family. And when I know, I take a chance with what I do and stuff like that. But I just have that belief in yourself and the whānau and friends you have around you. If
So-
you've got a good support system.
So was that support system that helped you break through that sort of barrier to like, what's going to happen now? I'm going to quit my
Nah.
job and
No, but I know what happens.
yeah.
But they're there to taste test. Or plug it or something like that. But I don't know what it was. It's just, and the other thing too, I was, I'm working. I know you got to know your worth too, I suppose. So if you're working in a job, you're getting minimum wage, which is excellent these days. Shit, way we started on $8.50. So where was I going with that? Yeah, if you're, with the money side of things and all that, but I don't know, just not happy. I wasn't happy doing, I'm paying someone else's bills. Then I go home, my money goes straight out of my bank to my bills, and then I've got to go back to work Monday because I've got no money, and wait for the next payday. So, what I do now sort of gives me the freedom to be able to, first time I've ever saved in my life.
Oh, really?
Ever. Always in deficit, always robbing Peter to pay Paul and Paul to pay John and the milkman or the shopkeeper or something, Never ticked so much up at a dairy in my life, through, I think, part of my 20s, late 20s. Times were hard, trying to put food on the table for 5 kids and being on your own and with someone, that's a long story. So it's mentally draining. But I would really encourage if people, if they have something that they love, I don't give a shit if it's making little things out of cotton wool. Shit, put those up on eBay or something at a 50 cents, sell 1 million of those or 2 million of those, cash money. That's the simple thing of it, but it's not. But, I don't know, I'm always encouraging to people. There's always a positive thing in everything. Well, that's what I think. Yeah.
And I'm sure what you're doing for yourself, is a positive vibe, and your kids, they look at.
They benefit hard.
Yeah.
So.
You know when you said that was the first time you saving, was that because you realised you got a budget, or was it you just getting more money from your
I
side?
could save. I had what am I going to do with this $20? I'll save it.
Yeah.
Yeah, bills are paid, food in the cupboard, rent's paid, cars paid. There's gas, the kids are taken care of. started
So,
saying.
so you said, so was it like once you started your own business, was there kind of like a mind shift? Like, was it like, okay, I'm gonna need, now that I've got this, I would probably spend it on this, but I've got a long-term vision now, so.
Oh, definitely. Like that was where the saving was coming into it. I was able to buy utensils I needed. The simplest thing is, spoons and the handles don't come off because they're from the $2 shop. That sort of, I could start buying high-end things that would last, and like containers to store everything, an extra fridge, an extra big freezer, so it allowed that sort of, you got to put back into your business. You got to spend money to make money, I suppose that's saying, I don't know.
Well, no, that's probably that.
Yeah, I'm not a good spender anyway.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm really
okay.
good on $5.
Oh,
Give me
okay.
500. I'm like, oh no, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm that old school.
So how long have you been doing your business now? How long? has it been?
Seriously,
Yeah.
like seriously, probably the last couple of years.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So
My experience has been more than that, obviously.
yeah,
Yeah.
like since I was probably a little baby with my nannies,
Mhm.
in the kitchen.
Yeah.
So
So that last 2 years, like from when you started
Yeah.
and now,
Yeah.
like how much did you expect that to grow this fast, or did you expect anything like from when you started, what you were thinking, and then what you think of it now?
no, like when I look back now, like the business year 2 years when I've been serious about it, I always revert back to, I just started with a fry bread. And I literally did. A $5 box of fry bread.
I think I remember that.
Yeah, and I was
Did you
living
post
on
it on
Millway.
social media?
Yeah.
Fry bread.
Yeah, I was living on Millway then. Our book's right there.
So is
$5.
fry bread still on the menu there, or what?
Yeah.
Is that the go-to? What's the? How you said you were doing catering back in the days.
Yeah.
What's probably the biggest job that you recall the biggest job that you've had?
Probably like 200 people is the biggest,
Yeah.
and that was just me and my daughter.
Everything.
Yeah.
Just all the cooking, all the.
Everything. Yeah, so that's been the biggest. God, there has to be one. Like they're all memorable for me, and I love being part of celebrations. When you grow up, you're always part of whānau events and things like that and everything like that. That's what I love, and that's what I want my kids to love and remember too. It's not always about money and things like that and what you have or you don't have. But God, memorable one. I had a funny one, which I went down the line. Was it last year? Or 2018, I think. And I just took my youngest girl. We were doing a catering for about 150 people at a marae. First time I'd gone out of town to do a catering, and I'm like, I'll travel, so I had to put my money where my mouth was. I was like, so me and my daughter went down there in my little Suzuki Swift. Man, I've done some jobs and that. Some, those memes and like heaps of people hop out of a car. Yeah, that's me with my kai. That's crazy. Yeah. I did a 21st up in Orewa. I pulled up in the Suzuki, everything was jammed in there. They were like, have you got a trailer or car truck coming? And I was like, no, that's it, and they're like, wow. I said, don't worry, go back under the tent, you'll be surprised, and they were like, wow. I was like, I know how to pack things, so that's good. Know how to put something in this, that, and the other. So that was a funny one. But yeah, the one down when I catered down the line, that was shout out to Pip. Was her father's memorial. Just me and my daughter in a marae. I swear she was just over there asleep, while Mum was doing everything. But that was, it was peaceful, it was lovely. Yeah, it was nice down there. So that was my first out-of-town catering thing. So, and that was a big one. I think it was about 120 people. Yeah.
Nice.
Are you surprised at the amount of people that come? Like, is it through word of mouth? How was the?
Yeah, that's
how
how
are
it
you
started.
getting the people?
I think
to get you in, because that's quite a bit. You take a little Suzuki Swift all the way down the line. Just they've probably heard of you, and it's a lot of faith for them to actually get you to.
It helped she was a mate, so she was like, I know you'll be, I know your food, you'll be all goods, just let me have, the best catering for me to do is free reign, tell me the food you want and just let me run with it. I'll do more than expected, because there's not that hinge on you sort of thing to be the certain type of way. So that helped. She was a mate, and that's probably why I went down too. I was a little confident, I'm all good. She won't laugh at my car, pulling all my stuff out. So yeah.
So, how's the business doing now? Like, in terms of like how you sell your stuff now? This is all through social media. Because I only see your stuff on Facebook.
Yeah, no, Facebook. I'm starting to pick up a few sales off Instagram.
Okay.
So there's that one. It's not really my forte, the old Insta, but mainly social media. Or I have regulars. A lot of their whānau by now, pretty much just straight. They know my cook days. That's what I call them. I do definitely Wednesday and Saturdays. If I don't have a big job on, and then maybe some days in between when I do have little jobs on, like I do local businesses and things like that, I'll make extra and, for my regulars that might want to pull through after work or something like that. So, if I had a shop, wow, overs.
We were talking about, because we're all Ranui OGs. We've known each other since primary school. You've known Cam since college.
Intermediate, actually.
Intermediate,
that's right. And what we were talking about how Ranui gets a bit of a. If you're not from Ranui, you get a bit of a bad.
Yeah, and what's funny is like, there's two sides of the tracks of Ranui. There's that Ranui, and then there's that Ranui.
Yeah, that's right.
So
yeah. It's funny because it is. I think it is the train tracks. They're actually do separate it, because there's the other side of Pooks Road, which is the nice.
Seemingly, I mean, I've lived over. I grew up on the other side, so Aradella, Luanda, all that. That's the hood, And then the last 18 years, I've lived on the other side of the tracks, So I've seen both worlds, So.
Is that a long-term goal? Maybe just opening up a shop.
Yeah, well, I missed out on an opportunity at Pooks Road shops.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so they had there's one takeaway there. So they've got the dairy, this one takeaway, the normal fish and chips. That's had a few owners in there.
Yeah.
Then they've got that bakery, cookie house now, and the dry cleaner. So I seen it was empty, but then COVID happened and things like that, and. I missed an opportunity. I went in there after lockdown, the first one, and I said, hey, what's going on in here? Spoke to the brother. He was like, I think the lease is this much, and then I was like, piece of piss, sign me up now. I'll pay a month in advance, He was like, wait till you see boss lady, that's the wife of the shop. And when she come in, she hit me on the shoulder. She was like, if I had known, we just signed someone up, and if they don't work out, we'll get you in. And so then the second lockdown happened. They actually ended up refurbishing the place. It's now a kebab and pizza place or something like that. But it wasn't meant to be then. But definitely. I mean, I do a lot of free kai maybe once a year, like Christmas, and then I did one at Starling Park last year, just give back to the community. That's why I want to be local and stay local, just so people get to know me, get to try the food, even if it's just a small hangi or something, sausage sizzle for the kids, lollies and things like that, have a kōrero, things like that, because I mean, even my kids growing up, like my daughter's 23 now, so I've been going since she was 13. She's still amazed. She's like, Mum, and then now she's going into her own little bizzo, but we'll get to that one.
Oh, nice.
It's not about you, bitch. No. Love you. Anyway, and so, yeah. It's amazing how much people will come to your place or wherever you are, like out on an event or something. I've heard of you, or we want to try your food, or they're regulars now and they just come every week and see me, like first name bros and that now, sis bro, kare or whatever. Yeah, it's amazing, and the kids are still amazed that people come and see me for food, so, and that's a good thing.
How is that? You said you had you were giving away free kai at Starling Park. How was that? Did you get a good turnout?
I think
Because I know people from Ranu. Yeah,
I tell you,
you know.
if I had gone, not everyone was awake that weekend. I tell you, that's
Yeah.
from Ranui.
Yeah.
Because I advertised it, and we actually it was free, but if you wanted to koha, it was around the same time for the Samoan relief one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
so I think we ended up raising $100 and something, from a koha.
Yeah.
So we sent that on. Yes, the turnout was good. People were dubious, like they'd just walk through and then take their kids to the park and be looking like that,
Yeah.
And I'm not shy, and we're just like, hey, come, hungry, come and have a feed, Yeah, so the turnout was okay, but it wasn't the hood turnout, like people didn't come start playing ball till in the afternoon,
Oh, okay.
which were mainly the nephews, so we left a box of kai home back for them, but so I think this year, I'll probably do the same, and then maybe find something else to do, like a charity or something local to give to.
I think Rob Lucy would really like a bit of a like if you should because we've had Rob on, and I'm sure he'd love to do something with you.
Because they have sometimes an event at Cooks Road at the park. Yeah,
that's right. And I know that he loves doing they do some basketball tournaments up at Starling Park.
Yeah.
But I think the one that new park down at where the BMX track is, have you been down to that Flash
No, I
park
haven't.
there? Well, that's all been refurbished because of all those new houses down there.
Yeah,
So they've got a basketball court, outdoor cooking areas for.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I think they call it Ranui Heights. That's the new.
Oh, stop.
Yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, when you go past Birdwood Primary School, past Karepo, I think it's a whole new world over there. That's for the.
Really moving up.
Yeah, that's all the new housing developments and all
Yeah.
that. So I think we might have to go take a food down there and
Maybe, yeah.
get the locals in there.
Is that where Rob usually does stuff down there?
Yeah, so they do a lot of stuff down there as well.
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that'd be so cool for you because
I'd love to.
it's awesome hearing you talk about your enthusiasm you have for the local community because you're just like Rob as well. He's got a passion. For the.
Well, that started on Pay It Forward. You know how that was really big at a massive time, eh? I think 2014, 13, 14, 15 was huge. And I was like, I started on there. I didn't really have much to koha, it was just like, do you want this old blanket? So I was like, I'll just give cupcakes a week or something.
Yeah.
And that's how I built up a reputation there too, of... because that values means a lot to me, like trust. That's a big thing for me is trust, and I wanted people to trust me, get to know me first, and then before I go, hey, do you want to do this sort of food, something like that. So I started on there with cupcakes, and then it just grew from there. I was recently part of our team at Kairua. I don't know if you ever saw me online promoting that bizzo. Being positive. I actually went into some whānau's homes. I was supposed to start a cookbook, actually, of a lot of people's recipes. I'd go into their house and they'd cook what they love, and I'd record it, would go live, show everyone, wherever they were. Like, our following is huge, all over the world. And did that.
When did you do that?
2018.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 2018.
Were you just going in with your phone and just filming?
Just the phone.
Yeah.
Turn up with my little kairua t-shirt. Kia ora relation. That was the kaupapa. And just whānau would invite me into their whares. One lady, Ashley, she was starting her own fitness bizzo. So I said, hey, let me come over. And, my sidekick, Nikki, she was, you have to do one of their programs. And I was like, oh yeah, okay. So I went up there and we did this. She ran me through this PT sort of thing. Like, and my mate's pissing herself, and you're gonna get it on the way home, So, but she got to showcase that side of things because she was really shy too, and that's what I love too is helping whānau that are shy, like we were saying earlier, about not being able to know what to do or something like that, and just knowing that someone's there to listen. or throw in a funny joke in there, make them feel relaxed, shit like that, That's what I love. And she cooked a mean-ass healthy meal, and it was too. I was like, wow, I don't know you could do that with peas, So things like that, did that all on there. But just giving back, that's what I love. That's what I want to do. And that's why I do what I do. Big whānaus too, And don't be shy and ask for help. That's the other thing too, There's always someone out there.
So after those nice healthy cooking, were you going to put vegan dishes on your?
I actually do
menu?
vegan hangi.
Yeah.
I offer vegan, keto, vegetarian. They don't get a lot of sales because I think people are like, they don't really know, what it's about. But I do have that on my menu.
Oh.
So what does that consist of on your vegan? Your
So
vegan haze, isn't it?
we do so that's the gluten one. The just cabbage and pork, for those ones doing keto. And it's pretty much up to them. So whatever veggies they want or things like that, I leave it to them. The price, it sadly goes up an extra $2 because of the ingredients, obviously. So, I mean, for $10, that's a whole meal in one. You get 2 meats, all the veg, everything is filling, But I did bring you the extra one, lunch tomorrow or something. I don't know. Hey, if you know where Cam lives, there's Kai over here. It's all about options because keto and vegan is quite big. Well, it was. I don't think it's that big anymore, but people are just doing their own thing now. I mean, I tried that keto, not for me.
Well, I think there was like a big push because there was that Game Changers. There was this documentary came on Netflix.
Yeah.
And I think for about 3 weeks, everyone in New Zealand was a vegan.
I think so.
It wasn't until they came and said, no, it's not all it's made out to be. They cooked the numbers. And although there's nothing wrong with being a vegan.
No.
It was like this big push. Like everyone's status was like, oh, my life's changed now. I don't do anything, And I was like, we'll give it a month. We'll give it a couple of weeks, then we'll see what
Exactly. But that's like with every new fad, But then you can trust the old OGs from Ranui and keep it real.
Right.
So through the COVID lockdown, so how did that affect your business and that what you were doing?
Well, save for a rainy day. So me and my family were all good, So we were lucky in that respect, Mum's, like I said, I don't know how to spend money. I just put it away. So we were all good, but we got to try different things at home. Like so, we went Asian for 1 week. Everything was luxes and chicken this and stir fry that and which I do anyway. But we were trying, like real flash ones. We did all the how the Big Mac ones and things like that. That was all over Facebook and so we coped with food through the COVID.
We had one of the boys, Danny. He done the KFC.
Yep, did the
So he done
KFC.
and
I'm a caterer, so I had the little coleslaw bottles. So really went extra.
yeah. Was there anything that you discovered that you were making over the COVID that you added to your menu? Like, oh, I should add this kind of.
Well, I tried the Asian stuff,
Yeah.
like, and that was okay, but everyone just loves the hearty food, so it's there as an option. Like everything I make, it's there as an option if you want it for an event. Kei te pai, but if not, well then,
It's pretty cool, especially the first COVID lockdown, the level 4. If you had a side hustle, it meant that you could go hundies on your side hustle that 4 weeks,
Exactly.
And we found out through past guests that's what happened. And that's pretty much what happened to us too. Like during that period, we went hard on our podcast and our network and stuff. So that was good for some people. Like for you, like trying out new stuff.
Yeah.
Or when it opens up again.
Yeah. It
Okay,
was great.
so-
And, really scrubbed all my things. Everything was out on the garage drying. All the big containers.
But I think the other good thing about level 4 lockdown was that all the takeaways were closed,
Yeah, exactly. So everything was fresh, healthy. Oh, well, fresh is healthy, but
And you had to cook. Everyone had to cook.
everyone had
you
to
know?
cook.
And I'm sure, I think you said that, Isaiah, like I'm sure people found a new love for cooking during that time.
Exactly.
And that's why you saw the Big Macs come out on Facebook, the KFCs come out on Facebook,
Yeah. I didn't
So-
see Pizza Hut, but,
Did you were there people first week out of lockdown? Was your
I had people
messages
still in lockdown. Hey, if we go out of lockdown next week,
Yeah.
Yeah. Like a lot of catering gigs I had lined up, were postponing weddings, so those got put back, but, because the numbers were still low, like 50, so I missed out on a few jobs like that, which was a bit shit, but picked up new ones, now, so I've just been flat out with that, but, definitely. Are you on sis next week? I'm like, yeah, bro, if Auntie Cinda says we're on, So, but me and my daughter, because to be honest, I was bored. Like anyone that knows me, I can't sit still, so I volunteered through a outlet on Facebook that someone added me to, and it was anyone in your area, like say the elderly or those that were couldn't get out or that were immunocompromised or whatever they were doing, if you could go and do their shopping, so me and my daughter did that. Well, she'd come for a ride, I'd go in where the zombies were, so to speak, bird box typing. So, we did that.
Who are you doing it for?
Pardon?
Who are you doing it for?
It's a group on Facebook. Should I have a look?
Well, I remember.
Well, yeah, it's a group on Facebook. They became certified and everything. Like, so if I got stopped, if I was out, I could provide paperwork. That's how it was really great, and so many, you didn't and it was another good side too, like you didn't realise how many people were in need or restricted, and there was a lot of their facilities that they would use were shut down, obviously because of it, so they had no help. And this guy, his name was Paul, he started this group and it was amazing, and I was like, man, I've got to get in there, He told me to slow down, like, you don't have to go and help everyone, But that's how a lot of us were like, we've got nothing to do, we can, but we've got to think about ourselves and our families, I did not like wearing a mask and gloves and everything. I felt so claustrophobic, but, it was good to do that for the people, especially the elderly people.
Yeah, exactly, because I was thinking that, like, when we're at level 4, I mean, there's long queues you have to wait in. I was thinking, man, some people don't want to wait. Like, some people can't wait in those long queues.
That's right.
Some people can't do their shopping on their own. And now it's good that Paul guy, he started that.
Paul, yeah.
I feel really bad now because
Why?
Because I drank through most of COVID, that level 4s. So, and there you are, trying to.
Hey, I stood in that liquor store line too.
Well, we discovered QMU Superbank.
Yeah, well, we love Gilmore's.
And we were like, we're giving away that we're driving out of our area for non-essentials, but I guess it was essential for some people to get through the COVID. But so were you based mainly out west? When you were doing the shopping
so I pretty much only went as far as Glen Eden.
The people must have been so grateful that you were...
this old couple were, and like they had the use of my number anyway, like so, and Robin, her name was Robin, the wife, and Paul wanted me to, she's a bit of a chatterbox, like no one actually really, no one actually really wanted to, don't answer that, you know what I mean. I was like, no, I'm good, I'm not doing nothing, better than talking to the kids, so I done it. I even did it. I continued it after lockdown too, especially for that couple. And they were lovely. And they they'd come out, like the husband, he'd come out and give me like $20, be like, and I'd be like, oh no, this not, you're not allowed or whatever. And he goes, no, just take this for you. Don't give it to your kids, because that's how close we became. We spoke about our families and things like that. And, I was thinking, where are your fellas kids? Obviously they're out doing their own thing all lives or whatever. And I was looking at my kids and like, hey. So, no, it was really good. And it was good that was there. And the second lockdown, it popped up again. So, people could count on that.
Man,
but the kids say,
yeah.
You better stand on that line, bitch.
So your kids, you mentioned your eldest has a business?
Pardon?
You mentioned your eldest daughter has a business?
Yeah, no, she launched her little fudge. They're like a fudgy cookie brownie sandwich. Like a crinkle.
Okay.
Yeah. Kia ora. She's at home right now making some for her orders tomorrow. I was like, well, I'll just leave you to do your little baking.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she started that because she's been helping me. She'd been working even towards the end of college at YTech. I think she was 17. Yeah, finished year 13, went straight into full-time work, warehousing at Glengarry's in Mount Wellington area. So she'd just done warehousing, and things like that. And then beginning of last year, she was like, Mum, I need a change. And I was like, I got you, man. Hey, my jobs are picking up. I need help to do the potatoes,
Yeah.
You're safe. I'll pay you, So she took a break from work and, she's just been with me ever since, working with me.
Man, I love that story. I honestly do.
Yeah.
Just to know that, when you said to your daughter, I got you,
Yeah.
because she's only known work coming out of school.
Yeah.
And for her to think, for you to say to her, don't worry, because some parents will be like, you better not be out of work for a month, because we've got bills and all that kind of stuff to pay.
Yeah, I tell you, I'm a real softie. Like, I'm hard.
Yeah.
Very hard, but, I'm the softest. Well, I suppose being on your own, you have to play good cop, bad cop, so... Yeah, I mean, all my kids at home, except for my oldest boy, him and his partner have their own place. So all my babies at home, just want the kids to know always got somewhere to go. Mum's always got your back. Soon I'm off. I'm going soon. You'll be by yourselves. But I just want them to know that.
So so that was. So is that her?
That's her.
Was she always working on that? Was she said, "I'm gonna"?
Yeah, she's she's a creative.
Yeah.
But whakama, like shy in that way of frontal with people. I said to her, well, you have to get used to that. Talking to people and things, because that's a big thing for a lot of our young kids. Is they're always like this. Keyboard warriors.
Yeah.
I want my kids to be warriors out in the world. So, it's helped her confidence, I think, being around me more. And, if I've, she does predominantly my deliveries because, I deliver my food. And, that's helped her in that respect. So I think she's sort of plugged up the courage now to be like, I'm going to do this. So we sat down one day and we're like trying to think of names. And, me, I've got sometimes my sense of humour and mine will go to them, and I was like, why don't you call it Fudge Me? I said it's catchy, and she's looking at me like I said, trust me, don't worry, especially your fellas generation and shit, they'll get it straight away. Yeah, sure enough. Yeah. So she's on Instagram now. She's only on Instagram though, under Fudge Me. And her first week, last week, just sold out. She started her pre-orders on Thursday, and then she ended up going to her brother's birthday on the weekend, and somehow I ended up doing her orders along with mine that evening. But it was all good.
Had she been putting it out before? Like, had people sampled? Like, is it through your catering, or did people know what they were getting? Because
what she does is not her own creation.
Yeah.
So, I've helped her tweak. Of course I'm going to help my daughter.
Yeah, of course.
Do it like that. It sets it apart. It's all about being different. She sort of just perfected that. And it's really good to see, I like seeing the hustle. Being, not just chucking some flour and cocoa in a frickin' bowl and, $10. She's like real perfectionist, like her seconds, what she called her seconds, I was like, bitch, I'm selling those on my page, G. But, for her, I was like, oh, these are my daughter's seconds, but they're just the same as those ones. But they won't come in a flash box with me, it's polystyrene, And they sold out. And she was like, wow, I said, I get it though, because I'm like that. If I don't like the way my food looks, I won't sell it, but, which is a good thing to have. But, that was her. No, so she's been perfecting it, and then, I said to her, go for it. You know, I'm behind you. I'll plug it too, and see where it goes. You know, be like Cookie House on Brooks Road. Yeah, be No's house. You know, I don't know. Just think big, something. You know. Yeah, small.
Because we had Cookie House on earlier on around our the 30, 40 mark episode, and they were just they were both chefs over in Australia, and then they just wanted to come back, stay on the family farm, and they had a passion. They weren't bakers by trade. They were both chefs, but then just like you, like they found there's a little niche or
there's a market for it.
And that kind of place. I told them I saw it because I saw it I saw one of those Metro Top 10 hidden gems kind of places.
Yeah. I think that's where I saw it too.
Yeah, and then I went, but the Samoan in me thought, one cookie, well, no, you got to eat 3. Well, once I came down from my sugar high,
so it's just the Samoan.
yeah. And I'm like, what? A cookie? This is, I should have 3 because, And then I remember coming back like from my sugar high and waking up the next day still high. And I thought, man, this is awesome to have a business like this in Ranui, because I remember going there and I was like, these people aren't from Ranui. Like, all our fellow Fresh Choice people that we go have, all the peeps, and I knew straight away the cars when they were pulling up in the Audis and the Maseratis. I was like, no, they're not the common Ranui folk. And that's what I love about businesses, and that's what I can't wait for you if you hopefully a place opens up in Ranui, because you're going to get people coming, from overseas. I mean, from out of town. Just like what your daughter gets going,
Yeah.
That's the exciting thing, I want people to come back and put in to Ranui,
Put back in our goodness. We grew up there.
Yeah.
So, got to give back.
Can I remember, so the last time I saw you was probably intermediate college.
I was going to say, don't say it. Yeah. Don't say it, the Lincoln Group of
was probably down basketball down in Waitakere, but then I remember seeing you in the Western Leader.
Yeah.
But this was for your house. Your house had
burnt down
on
Railway Station Road.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. And I remember seeing it, and this was probably a week or something later, and I saw it, and how did you? Firstly, just glad that no one was hurt.
No one was hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, just my poor cat, rest in peace.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes.
Yeah, Chichi. Anyway.
Yeah. That must have been a tough time for you,
Do you know what? I'm such a dick. It was... I just, like I say, I always say the good things. I was like, oh, well, it must be a fresh start.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, everyone was safe. It was funny. I was pregnant with my baby, my last baby. So everyone's getting over the fence, because it was billowing out the side of the house and the back. So we had to jump the fence to the back neighbours where Cynthia was.
Oh, okay.
Down her driveway. And was it Cynthia? I'm sure it was Cynthia. Yeah. So they've all jumped, my kids ever jumped over the fence. And I'm like, Hapu is going, someone chucked me because it wasn't the side of the fence, it was the flat part. There was no step, I was like, hey, house burning, pregnant. Can't jump, so, so that cracked me up. But, I think the only sad thing about that was the memories that I'd put up in that whare. I knew something was wrong with that house. Mm-hmm. Even the owners were dodge. It had 2 hallways, and I love photos and memories and things like that. And I had photos from my grandparents' days, and I'm an op shopper, so I'd had all these frames. And I did the whole hallway. It looked beautiful. I'd only been up because we'd only been in there a couple of months, before Christmas, before it burnt down. And that's the only shit thing for me was the memories, all those photos that I just put up, hundreds. My parents, me when I was young, my babies when they were babies, all gone, and there was no phones like that back then. So nothing's saved or anything like that, you know. All the negatives were like those little plastic things you hold up to the light sort of thing, you know. So that was the only thing. And the community, that's the other thing why I love Ranui too. Like, the community was real supportive. Like the old hub, well, I think it was a diagnostic. They've just redone it down on the corner there, we'd gone through a few other organisations and everything, and then when we finally got our place, like, I got a phone call from one of the ladies down there. My apologies, I can't remember her name. I think it was Sarah or someone, but you know, she's a local, and she was like, "Oh, hey, we didn't want to bother you, Ros, but you know, we've got some donations down here, you know." And I was like, "Oh wow, you know, Ranui." So we went down there, and there was clothes, you know, it just happened around Christmas time. There was stuff for the kids, and practical things, you know, like blankets and things like that, clothing. There was funds, like money, like people had donated, you know, and so it was like, you know, it really restored my faith, not only in people but in the community, you know, because everyone's, I don't know, we're all struggling. We're all struggling, and just to come through like that, you know, meant a lot to me, so I'm still there. Love the people.
Man, that must have been real tough, but at the same time, cool that, you know, that happened, like with the donations and stuff. The community coming back.
Was. You know, it was a sad thing, and, you know, we can always replace things. You know, it's not about that, but just seeing the love from everyone was so cool.
It's also cool how you thought, like, fresh start.
Yeah, I was like, hey, I hear you, God. Don't have to tell me twice, and please don't.
Because, you know, honestly, I can honestly relate to that, because I think you're like me, because sometimes things happen to me in life when I just do that same thing. Like, to most people, they'll just break down and fall apart. But sometimes me, I'll just like, oh, now I'll just move on, you know?
Yeah, and I think sometimes it can come across quite ice.
Yes,
you know, like
yes.
you've got a heart of ice or something like that. I was like, nah, there's something else then. You know, there's always something else. You know.
No, that's an awesome. I mean, not an awesome way to look at it. But I mean, like you've got to, you know, you've just got to persevere.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you know, you can probably dwell on it for a little bit, but then, like,
yeah, of course, it's always going to be there.
Yeah.
You know, and you're always like, oh shit.
Damn, you know, that was tough, but you know, and that's a lot of thing that we've got to. I guess at this point, I guess a lot of people, especially with COVID and that, we've just got to, as a people, just learn just to not dwell on things.
Exactly, and you know, shit can happen.
Yeah,
and it does, and it has. What are you gonna do?
Yeah,
you know, that's what I've always thought. Like, well, there's only two ways you can go: there or there. You know, I'm going up that way.
Yeah,
I think that's important. That's really important. That kind of mentality, because you're right. Life is hard, and everybody's gonna.
I mean, I don't care how rich you are, broke or rich. It's hard for everyone. I mean, I would love to struggle with 60 million in my bank. You know, it's so hard, but I mean, it's hard for everyone. It's just a different kind of hard. For everyone, and you choose your hard. Yeah, I just choose to go hard. You obviously choose to go hard. You're going hard. We're from Ranui, you know, that's what we do. Ranui, go hard or go home. Go back to that side.
Get on the train station.
One-way ticket.
No, that's so cool. I mean, so like, you've always had a knack for the baking side of stuff, like the cooking. Was that's passed on to you from?
Well, I had two very important women in my life, apart from my mother. Mum's always number one, but I had my dad's mother, so she was Fat Nan, because she was a big woman. And then I had my mum's mother, who was Little Nan, because she was very skinny. So that's how we differentiated the two. Unfortunately, it passed down to my kids, and my mother said to me, which one am I? You know, I said to my kids, run, don't answer. Yeah, so, yeah, my nan, my dad's mother, she was, she took care of children in like halfway homes and things like, and her sister too, my auntie, ran Weymouth in the kitchen there. And my auntie took care of like boys, girls and that, and the old Ponsonby back in the day. So I got to be around those big guys cooks with her. But my little nan, like, she was a potterer, like, little Māori lady, like, strength of, I never saw her sleep, you know, always do something for everyone, and she was the baker. So I was lucky. I had the big pies and the dainty stuff. Yeah, I like the big pies better though. It's okay. It's going to the granddaughter. The granddaughter.
So it's like you got all the aspects, the best aspects.
Yeah, and I mean,
because and the other cool thing is you're very fortunate to have both loving, grandparents. Or you both feel because there can be sometimes
you grow up without that influence.
Yeah,
of course. Like, so I was fortunate. I mean, they both died when I was, my fat nan when I was young. Excuse me, and my little nan, she had a stroke when I was a bit older. I think I just had my daughter, so that was. But man, she was still trying to go, still being a bossy, So yeah, I was very fortunate for that, to have that influence, and I know that's the other thing about the community. Like, I know there's not a lot about that. I did a teaching down here at Waipareira for young mums or expectant mothers. And I taught them a simple dish. It was just chicken, pasta, bacon, bit of veg. And just seeing our youth not even being able to use a knife to cut a chicken breast, really opened my eyes to really tell my kids, say, you're lucky, for one, appreciate. And just seeing the youth out there, they're brought up around takeaways and fast foods and things like that, and they didn't know how to chop a chicken breast, that really fucked me off, so it was really lovely to show them that, and open my eyes there too, like, there's a niche there or something for me to be able to do. That's what started my lives with cooking. I've taught my fried bread recipes, steam pudding, everything live. I mean, anyone can look it up on Facebook and kia ora, this is what we're doing today, So...
How many hits have you got on that one?
I think not that many, like just over 11,000 or something like that. Yeah.
Not that many, only 11,000.
No, but I mean,
Well, for me, 3 views is... oh, man! Ching, ching!
These days, it's like,
Yeah.
But so there's been a few hits on there, and every year, that's what I love too. I just love everything, Every year I'll get messages from whānau and friends, or not whānau, but I call everyone whānau. Every Christmas they've made the steam pudding again for their whānau. Or they've done a batch of fried bread or something. And these things are quite daunting for Māori. We're like, oh, our nannies did that, I didn't listen. Which is true, we don't. We just take it for granted. But now they know how to make it, and they're teaching their children. And then their children will teach their children. And then they'll be like, oh, where'd you learn that? This Māori woman on Facebook back in blah, 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 Yeah, so, and that's what I love, being a part of that shit. Yeah.
That's so cool, because it's kind of like you've kind of started like they've lost that kind of, that part of their heritage or that part of their family. And you've been able, through your 11,000 views,
only
to get people back, because that when you said that thing about people not even knowing how to use a knife, because you're right, a lot of the youth these days are kind of, there's a disconnect, or they just, some of them are just don't even know basic
tech skills,
things
like they were learning at school, home ec, I mean, my daughter, she's year 12, she had a food tech exam after the lockdown.
Yeah.
I see you come back with even a 98. Get out. But she passed.
Yeah.
I said, if that's the only subject you pass, I'm proud of you. But, don't fail that one, shocking.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we had that little joke. But, yeah, definitely, so just those, and I don't know if it's missing at schools. I don't know what's going on there, or they're just not interested in that side of things anymore. But I think those are the basic things that our kids need to know. Back to, I enjoyed home ec at intermediate.
Oh.
Loved it.
Yes.
The scones and the pinwheels,
yes.
And those are my fave. Like, and then what now they're called fancy. Those fancy. Even I've sold them too. Those cinnamon scones, and shit like that. You know, so I was like, man, those are just flash pinwheels, you know, of cream cheese and shit, you know. But yeah, those things in school, you know, push that more. I don't know what our kids are doing. Fuck.
How long ago were you doing those classes down at Waiparero?
That was a couple of years ago now. Yeah.
And how come you, did they not renew it, or how come you not doing
well,
that
I mean,
anymore?
because it was when I was...
That sounds like an awesome class.
I don't know, I think... I don't know if she'll see this, but and even if I share it or something.
Well, no, as long as it's not about GT.
Nah. Hey. Kia ora.
Because we might want to get him on at some point too.
Yeah, no, definitely. No, there was, I think, personal issues, not with me, with just within.
Okay.
So I don't know if they wanted to follow through with anything like that, or they were having talks about it and things like that. But I was always there, open, and I know a couple of people had issues and stuff within, but yeah.
That sucks when personal grievances or like in-house stuff affects something as valuable as what you had to offer. Because
I mean, I would have loved to have showed the young women there. Even there was their partners, you know, they came with their young partners, and
they're the ones who really should be learning how to cook too.
Yeah, of course, you know. I say to my boys, they know how to cook too, you know, and they're quite proud of it too, you know. So, you know, I think there needs to be more of that. I don't know if there is. I haven't been too in touch with that side of things, but I'm always down. I mean, if someone comes to me with something like that, I'm there. You know, I don't care what I'm doing. You know, if I don't have a big job on or something, but no, definitely, I would love to be a part of things like that. I've even taught in my own house, you know.
Had people come over?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've done everything in my whare. Housey, bloody, you know, for fundraising and things like that. Teaching how to make fry bread. Yeah, no, whatever. But when I've got a big enough, like, lounge area now, you can do dance classes if you want, you know, it's all on. We're all one-stop shop.
It sounds like there is a market for, you know, teaching people to cook. You could do that. Oh.
Yeah, definitely.
I think there's definitely a market, and I think, and with what you've got to offer as well, because you cover everything along, but everyone, I guess.
Well, it's the time too. People trying to find that time.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
Well, that's what's good about this social media. You know, look, I mean, but anyone can go online and look at a recipe now and look up these chefs that make this food and things like that. But, you know, what are you going to do if you don't have that flash spatula?
Yeah.
Because I've got the tool for you. You know? Yeah, you know, things like that. Because people think, oh, I'm not going to make that. I don't have what they're using.
Yeah. Because you see, like,
come on.
Yeah, got the food processor and all that kind of stuff. Like,
yeah.
You still got that thing where you wind down like the egg kind of thing.
Yeah, or just the whisk, use your arm.
That's it, you know?
You know?
You see all the fancy... And I watch heaps of food television. I'm like, I want to make that. And I'm like, but I never... Because I know it's not some of the stuff's not practical.
Yeah,
you know?
That's right.
Like some of the stuff that you make, because that's stuff that like Māoris and Islanders have been making since day dot, you know?
Yeah.
So what's the most popular, what's the one that everyone goes to? Is the fry bread the people love to teach, or the...
What to... fry bread.
Yeah?
Definitely. Yep.
What's the difference between that and Māori bread, you know, the...
So, Māori bread, like more like a takako, which is a flat bread. You don't use any rising agent, just flour and water. Yeah. You know, pull it apart when it's ready. It's quite thick or can be dense. And that is really good. Like, my kids grew up on that shit. That with baked beans and butter. You know, kia ora, get that in you. Go to bed. But we want, you know, so, and there's different rising agents. Like, there's, like, and getting into the Māori kind of things, you know, there's always someone that knows more than you, you know, and I'm just like, yeah, come, it's all good.
Yeah.
Because I got nothing to hide. Or I stand by my food and how I was taught and the little things that I've implemented into it as well. For this day and age, to make it faster, you know, because can't just be like Nan and walk around the whare and go prune that and then come back and turn the fry bread, you know, that's not the kaupapa. But, so there's the, you know, do you use you know, you get a bug. And I've had bugs from here, Rarotonga, you know, and that's made from either a root vegetable, like a potato, taro, yam, anything, just fermented. And that acts as a rising agent. Or you can just go to the dairy or packer save and get a yeast. It's the same thing. Just provides a different flavour. And so, you know, we have that online where we show you how to start off a bug to make a fried bread. Toby's uses a bug. Their one, but it's more of a 3-to-1. Mine, sometimes half and half, because I don't really like the sweetness of my food is really savoury, so you don't really want to have a sweet donut with your pork or something, you know. Oh, some people do, kia ora, but yeah, so yeast is a go-to for me. It's quicker, I find, and it's readily available. A bug, you have to keep feeding it and growing it and things like that. That's for more special occasions and things like that where you use that.
Wow, that's
I'm
typical.
going to be honest. When you said bug,
Yeah.
and I
Oh, did you mean a bug? Oh, you thought a bug.
Wait, did you go get a bug? No, and then when you
Sorry,
come back, no.
yeah.
I'm sure she doesn't mean that
Yeah,
there's a
sorry.
bug. No,
Yeah.
that's just me being ignorant in my little brain. I've never seen them use them. You know how you said there's always someone out there that thinks they know.
Yeah.
Well, what's the competition like? Do you have people that haters out there or?
I hope not.
Yeah.
And I encourage everyone too. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, because there's a stuffed fried bread that I do, chili steak and cheese stuffed fried bread.
Oh.
Like those are go to, really good with a beer. The spice in it, I won't go into it. I'll make you hungry. Yeah. But
Oh, I've already ordered. I've already started.
Man, anything
Already going
spicy.
online.
is that my phone going off already?
Hang on, give me pause for a little bit of. Just gonna send a message off. Yeah.
I'm glad you cater for the beer drinkers and put some spice in there, you know.
I tell you, I like, especially when the dudes turn up, you know, in their little high vises and things like that. You know, you tell they're hearty workers and they have a drink on a game day or something like that. I'm like, hey, order these next time, brother.
Yeah.
You know, and they do, and they come back for more. And then, I mean, I sell those in lots of 3. And I've had the biggest dudes come and try those. Like, heard these are really good. I'll get 5 packs of those. And I'm just like, bro, you're joking, you know, because they're really filling. He's like, don't worry, miss, I'm a big guy, you know. I'm like, oh, okay, big guy. You know, then they'll message me back, oh, he goes, oh, I couldn't even finish 4, you know, or something like that.
Yeah.
Because they're really filling, you know, so. But no, they're good, you know, so. But as far as, yeah, I hope there's no haters out there. But the biggest climb out there, and I've got a mate that does shit like me too, is it ground hangi? Is it real? You know, at first I was like offended, like, what do you mean real?
Yeah.
You know, I know everything comes from it's real. I cook it, it's real.
Yeah,
you know, it's not out of a packet. I don't buy that packet to even heat it up in the microwave. You know, but then cottoned on, I was like, oh, they don't mean real. They're like thinking like ground hangi is real. And I want to debunk that myth here and now.
Nice.
Yes, it's traditionally cooked in the ground, heat the rocks. You're burning it all hours of the morning. But a woman doesn't do that mahi, okay? And that is, I always explain to people like, hey, and especially like we can't dig holes and light fires in the backyards anymore like back in the day, you know, and the only time you're really going to get that is if you go home. So the next best thing is what I try and do is put that flavour into my food. So I tell them, up to you or not, if you want to try my kai, I mean, it's cheap enough. You know what, you go spend $15-20 at McDonald's for one combo, you're hungry an hour later. I guarantee you spend $10 on this and you get a free fried bread. Sorted, you know, you won't even know. And before I even thought of telling everyone I cooked in an industrial UFO, that's my UFO cooker, people didn't know the difference. And that's the funny thing, you know, but as far as cooking kai in the ground, you know, that's not a woman's mahi, we're not allowed anywhere in the hole, near there. You'll see the woman prepping and everything, the men cutting the meat, we'll pack, everything like that, but we don't go and dig, it's tapu, you know, so for someone that should know tikanga and the kaupapa, to ask me, is it in the ground, you know, they obviously think, one, I've got a man at home that does it, that doesn't have a other job, you know, that they should be doing, you know, just does hangis all day, or they just don't know the kaupapa, so, yeah, and it's up to the individual. I mean, I wouldn't talk blue in the face to someone or argue with anyone like that, you know, about that sort of thing, because it's personal preference. And I always tell them, It's up to you. You know, I'm not going to get pissed at you if you don't want to eat it. Because fucking the neighbour will buy it. You know, I don't know.
Right. There's someone else.
You know, I don't need your $10, and it's not about the $10. Do you want to try it or not? You know, a taste of home. I mean, that's my little caption on my logo. You know, taste of home.
Yeah.
You know, like away from home. Because these days for Māori, the only time we get to eat food like that, the steamed puddings, that real home cooked, is at the marae or it's at a funeral or something like that. You know, and that's sad time. Yeah, come over on a Wednesday night and have a feed, you know. Like Nanny used to make or something, or Auntie, I'm not that old, but you know, Auntie or something. You know, so that's what I like that.
That's me.
You see, I'm just, you know, I believe in it.
You know, with your food and that, like, why do you think there's not a franchise now?
Mine?
Like, that kind of food, like hangi food. Like, why isn't there... Because I remember back in the days we had that Billy T's hangi, remember in Henderson?
Billy T's hangi,
but that didn't last long. Oh.
No, and it was out south, and now it's the hangi shop out Otahu. They have a hangi shop out there. I don't know how well their business doing, but a lot of people pick up this mahi though. They'll try it out because it's a good money maker. So if you want hard and fast cash, do it.
Hangis, yeah.
But are you prepared to do it every fucking day? You know, and that's where the conviction comes in, and that is your drive, your passion, your why are you doing it. I'm not doing it to make a quick $200 because I'll put it out there plainly. What I spend on that for ingredients and everything like that, people are like, oh, you sold 40 hangis, well, that's $400. Well, no, it's not. There's my gas, there's the ingredients, the packaging alone and things like that. So whatever you think that you're going to make, go on then, you know, so, yeah. So I think franchise-wise, man, it's all, you know, there's not really, there's a lot of people that do it.
But don't stick with it, like you said.
Yeah, but don't stick with it, or they're not in the area that you want them to be in or something like that, so they're not that mobile, like they do it from a different part. Yeah, no, I'd love to do that.
Do you think part of it is because hangis are... Well, it's anything, because I noticed that about... If you think about Samoan food, we don't have a Samoan restaurant. You know what I mean? There's no place that you go and you're going to go and get... Because we like pisopo and green beans, or we have galo and pig head and that.
Might not be any restaurants there, but, you know, there's
But
places ourselves, you know,
but, you know,
all you can eat. You
Yeah.
know?
No, but those places you go, you buy it, and then you take it home to eat. Do you think
I'm sitting there.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Do you think that's because our food, we're kind of like, we grab it and we take it back to our own place to eat? That's why those franchises don't work, because it's not somewhere where you'd sit in and eat.
I would really like to ask someone if they've tried it.
Yeah.
Like, not to... You know, and it would be helpful for tips or anything like that, because I'm always down for that shit, you know, whatever helps anyone. I mean, I'll do it. Like the little shop on Pooks, I loved it because it had the front thing at the front where you could sit and look out, and a couple little tables could fit in there, because I want to cordial with the people.
Yeah.
Well, the community, it's our community, you know. So, yeah, definitely, you know, I'd like to try that out, like maybe like an instant restaurant or something. You know, test it out, because I mean, it's not just hangi or anything like that. Like, I wouldn't go too high end or anything like that, but you know, I'd like to deconstruct a few things. Like, I've got ideas, especially when it comes to the boil up. Man, look out! You know, I would love to do something like really fun with that. But yeah, I mean, when I get the opportunity, and I know it's coming.
Because you know, one of my sort of like gripes about food around Auckland is that there's not much variety. If I think about it, like it's either fast food or a fancy restaurant.
Yeah.
Or you know, it's either takeaways or a fancy restaurant.
Yeah.
And when it's not a fancy restaurant, it's takeaways. It's the same old takeaways. You know, how many bakeries? How many bakeries are there in Auckland? Can you count them? You can't, because there's so many. How many Chinese takeaways are there?
Well, they're usually next to the bakery. You know, they're everywhere. Yeah.
Exactly. And if you think about how much real estate there is in Auckland alone.
That's right.
And
I would love to see a Samoan restaurant, because the variety there is humongous. you know, like probably more than what like the Māori food, but just with different styles and things like that. I would love to see something like that.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think the problem with that is like there's no know-how, or no one's done it before. Like, fuck, are we going to fail? Are we going to waste all our money? You know, there's all those questions. Me, right now, I'll just go in there right now. Like, I would go into Fuxway shop right now with what I have, you know. Kia ora. Yes, it's coming out of a polystyrene box. Eat it right in front of me, you know. You'll love it. You know, so I think it'll just come down to the individual, and the community and their whānau and their friends need a support. Don't be all talk, you know, and be like, oh, that's a great idea. And then you go, you know, not even helping them, you know, shame, you know, something like that. So I think if you have a good support around you, build that rep up first, you know, get that going in there, and get the people behind you, you know, so, and yourself behind you.
I guess the cool thing now is you've got the reputation now, you know. There's people that know, you know, they've already messaging you, hey, when are you know, because you said Wednesday and Saturdays, and you know, do you feel any pressure to just keep like experimenting wise? Because remember you said you've got the fried bread, the chili, and all that. Is that your own recipe? Did you just experiment and think?
I was watching the old Channel 9 on Sky one day, and the Food Network, and I saw they were in Italy. One of the chefs was over there, and they were making street food on the side, and it was a pizza dough, and they were filling it with like pizza fillings and things like that. And I was like, you know, I was hungry. The kids were hungry. I was like, what do we got? I can make a dough. So what's in the freezer? And I just had, you know, one of those small packs from Pack and Save of steak strips, a bottle of sweet chili sauce, and an onion. So I was like, man, that's going in, some cheese. I was like, man, that's going in there. So I whipped up a dough, did my mix, fried up the onion, the beef, put the chili sauce in, and then I was like, okay, this should just cook like a fried bread because the filling's cooked.
Oh, okay. So
you know, the filling's cooked, just needs to go into the fry bread, pinch it all over, seal it, and put it in the oil. So I did that, and I was just like,
So, kids' first reaction, because you know this is something.
Yeah, just wow.
Yeah.
Did you do that, my mate? Yeah. So I did. I've been doing it for years. Yeah. And it was like, phew. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that came from that inspiration. Was watching someone else do something with what they had, and I was like, shit, I'm gonna do something with what I've got. You know. So I mean, I didn't care if I had not even that, and you know, I would have tried it with something. And since then, I've tried it with seafood chowder, cream pawa, marshmallows and chocolate. You know, I've tried all these different things. Yeah. So
that's the staple. So that's the go-to. Well, how did the seafood chowder one? That's just for me.
Yeah,
so it must have been
great. So, you know, if anyone wanted to try it, like the tip is like cook it all first, like the night before, chill it. So you can just scoop it out like with an ice cream scoop, put it in your dough, and it'll just go back to being hot and creamy inside when the dough's cooked. You know, kia ora.
Damn,
easy.
You know,
I'm trying. I'm gonna try. You know when we had those guys from Cookie House on, they were talking about how they sort of like sell their stuff at other places too. Like, is that like through a contract or something? Like they? Oh, so they. I forgot what they said.
What, at another another shop?
Yeah,
and put their product out there to sell.
Yeah, that's right. And these shops are like in Remuera and Ponsonby, those kind of places, especially their keto stuff. Like for you, like would that be a thing to do? Like, especially for your chili fried bread, like, man.
I don't know. Like, I've been asked to go into like something like that.
Yeah, so you supply and they'll just come sell it, you know.
Yeah. I don't know, but I want to do it myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I suppose their product is a product that you can do that, you know, whereas, you know, with my guidelines and everything, you know, the heat, the temperature and everything of the food has got to be to this and everything like that, you know. Like I said, in those bins, you know, they stay well above 75 for a long time, you know, and, I don't think I'd be able to. I don't know, maybe I don't want to share.
No, I was just thinking that. I think, you know, once you get, like, your store going, they'll come to you and they'll...
Yeah,
I mean, that's when you can
I deliver. We deliver all over Auckland.
Yeah.
You know, So, I mean, if someone comes to me with a big order, they want 10 on Wednesday, boom. You paying the delivery, we're there.
No, that's what I was saying. It's kind of misleading because they would be selling it like they were actually, like, if it was a front, like a story. Yeah, we made these, even though you're the one who's putting all the mahi in your...
Yeah.
If they're not advertising your business, and they're putting it front like it's actually theirs, then...
Yeah. Well, either way, everyone's got to make money, Yeah. And that's the thing. I don't want anyone to look at me like, oh, we can make money out of her.
Yeah.
Because I don't do it for the money. The money's good and it helps out and it puts food on the table, but I think there's more to my food than that. Like, me as a person, that's me in a tinfoil tray, you know?
Coming back to what I said about my opinion about not much variety around Auckland for food, like, man, that chili fried bread's important to get out there, because that's something new, you know?
That is, well, it's not. That's the thing. A lot of people know about my chili steaks. That's why people came to the Otahu Festival to try them. They've heard about them or to come and get them, because I have a lot of customers out south, you know, and I can't get out there as often as I want to because I'm so stuck out west. Well, not stuck, but I'm busy out here, you know, and if I have to travel that far, they have to pay more.
Yeah.
You know, and like I said, I'm not about the money. I don't want them to pay more. If they're willing to travel, they still get the same decent amount of food, and it's on them, you know. I don't feel like I'm charging someone the earth for my food, even though I know my worth, but I don't hate charging people. Like family and friends, they're the worst. A stranger rings me up and goes, hey, we need a quote for this. I'm like, blah, 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 bang. You know, friends and family is like, oh, Roz, you know, we're doing this, and just tell me your price. And I'm like, oh, tell me your budget, you know.
Yeah.
But, you know, things like that, I'm real soft like that. And like this coming year, I've put up on my page that any of my regulars or followers that, you know, I know that's how I started with my kids in sports. You know, if you've got any fundraisers coming on or things like that, you know, I'm not in a position to koha the whole thing, but I can do it at a reduced rate for our babies. Okay. You know, like so our kids are off on a netball rugby trip or something like that, and they need their gears and things like that. Yeah, let's smack out a couple of... I'll do all the work, or they can come in and be involved, or come in the garage and prep some kai or something if they want to help out, and then, you know, just to cover my costs, and then you add on whatever you want to do for your fundraiser. And if it's a fundraiser, people will pay for it for our babies, you know, so they make their money. And that's what I want to do this year coming for our people, for our kids.
Do you don't have a fear that people might take advantage of that, you know?
I've been taken advantage of so many times.
Yeah.
I'm still smiling. You know, they mustn't eat it.
Yeah.
You know, and I believe in karma.
Yeah.
Okay. She's a bitch.
Yeah.
You know, and I can't help it.
Because it could be, because people will hear how good your hangis and all your food is. They might just mark it up, you know, mark it up, add another extra $15-20, but they just relying on how good your stuff is, because, you know, they're relying on that name, and you don't worry about that.
Well, I think it comes down to me too. I mean, I'm not going to have someone come into me and go, oh, and then give me a sad story, and I'll be like, oh, hey, listen, I'll give it to you at 7.
Yeah.
And yeah, how much you know, I always quarter with them about, like, you know, what you're going to put on top, because 12 to 15 is reasonable for me, so they make the same, if not more, on top for their fundraiser and things like that. But yeah, I mean, so I think it comes down to me too, and it's how I talk to the people. So I mean, if I was to be, I am a softie, but if I talk to you in a manner to where you're probably thinking, yeah, no, don't F with her.
Yeah, okay.
Because she will come to our house.
Yeah.
Because I will.
Yeah.
It's not joking.
Yeah. Oh, so you haven't had any had to make any house visits there, or?
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
But like I said, though, you know, there's always going to be someone out there, and it doesn't matter what business you're in, they're going to try and take advantage of you. So, it comes down to you.
You know, there's another thing that you're really busy on, and that's your social media. And yeah, I crack up laughing at some of your posts that you put up, like especially some of the memes that you put up. Man, it's funny.
Man, I have like a whole arsenal in there, but you know, my mum might come to my house saying.
I mean, you know, with social media stuff, how do you find social media as a whole in general for you? Like, obviously, you know, for us, social media means advertising the podcast and stuff like that. But for you as well, advertising your business, and that's probably.
I mean, that's why I think I separated it with that having its own page. I mean, it's so annoying though. You know, you got to go in this one and then come out of that one. Sometimes the notifications don't come through, but Facebook for me is just, and being a good outlet too. You know, being a mum and the shit that the kids and I have been through. You know, they've had a traumatic event happen in their lives and things like that. So it's been a good outlet, and for me, not wanting to get out there and, you know, be in front of people right then and there, you know, I've just used, you know, I'm on here, you know, let's be funny cunts on here, you know, or something. So, it helps out a lot in that respect. And then when I am busy too, you know, up late at night, you know, I just post some funny shit. If anyone sees it, you know, I'm sorry. But yeah, and, you know, you never know who's going to cheer up. Or I shared one today, you know, my page is for, you know, if you need somewhere to go and laugh, if you resonate with something or, you know, something like that, you know, got you. All good, you know. Because I see some funny shit on there too, man. I'm grateful for some of the people that I have on there that I haven't even met, you know.
I remember I was cracking up at one of your memes. I forgot what it was because you post so many. And I'm at work and my 2 screens up and it was up full screen on one screen. And I got distracted and it was still there. And then someone behind me saw it and... What the hell is that? Oh my gosh! Like,
shit, what was that one?
I'll have to find it, but
yeah,
it was something rude.
Nah, that must be a different roles.
Yeah, like ever since, you know, follow you on social media and see what you're doing with your food and that, because you post a lot about your life and stuff.
Yeah, of course.
And man, when you flew over to Africa.
Mate, kia ora. I tell you, that was the most, what the hell, kia ora.
So, where did you go in Africa?
So I went to Nigeria.
Okay.
So I left here, went to Sydney.
Wait. So, how did this all start?
How did this come about?
Oh, no, well, I was trying to get back out there in the scene, so not really, I don't know what I was doing.
I mean, there's Honolulu, there's like LA, there's Savannah.
Shit, nah, I have fallen head over heels in love with my darling. Yeah, and that's where he's from. And we tried countless times to get him over here, but because of his place of origin and things like that, you know, big fat no, twice, well, 3 times we tried last year, beginning of this year. Well, no, sorry, that's still up in the air because of COVID. He would have been here before Auntie Cindy locked us down. I said, can you get in the air by midnight? No, you know. So that's what took me over there, man, and I am so blessed and grateful that I did, because not just, actually just for myself. I know it inspired a lot of my friends and other females to be like, fuck, if Ross can do it, you know. I'm not saying go and do it. But man, it was, I couldn't believe that I did it, you know, even when I was because I hate flying. And that man going over there, like from Sydney to Dubai, it's like freaking 14 hours. I was shitting my pants, you know, like I had this guy, I had a row to myself and I was like, oh, that's okay, you know, I can lie down. Then this Aussie guy was in front of me with 2, they must be from Dubai. And he's like, oh, mate, can I come and sit with you? And I was like, oh, yeah, okay. So he sat on that end and I was by the window. Then he starts pulling out these pills and he's like, mate, do you want a molly? Like, do you need to go to sleep? And I was like, bro, do you need to? Yeah. And he goes, it's all good, mate, it's prescription. You know, I'm just like, yeah, whatever. You know, I was waking him up all the time like, hey, food. You know, do you want to eat? You know, like being a mum or something anyway. But yeah, no, it was, it was great. And I couldn't wait to get there and see the food, you know. I mean, I'm in Nigeria by myself, cruising, you know, my darling's back at the apartment, you know, so you alright? I'm like, it's the Roz, mate. They either want the thunder or the lightning, I don't know, you know. It's all good. But we ended up getting we went for a walk one morning and one of the locals, I think he just started being a taxi driver that day when we said, you were a taxi driver? Because he was like, hey, you know, because being a white woman over there, it's like, oh, you got money. Yeah. You know, no disrespect. But it's truth. And so he ended up being our regular. So I wanted to go shopping because I wanted to go to all the supermarkets, you know. see what their produce was like, their food. They've got a lot of side stalls. They sell anything and everything, like street food, like food they've just whipped up on the side there on the rocks with a fire. Bro, I love that. That's where I started, you know, from the ground like that, you know. So that was really cool. I got to taste a lot of their cuisine. Spicy as fuck. You know, I'm not really a spice fan. Like, I don't mind the chili and things like that, but, man, there's part fucking some sort of hell in that food. Like, burn your ass on the shit, you know. But, no, that was a great experience. Like, it was short, though, you know. Like,
how long were you there?
3 weeks.
Oh.
Yeah, 3 weeks. So, but, man, 3 weeks of my life that were the best, like where I just felt free, me, you know, and I didn't have to answer to, you know, because I've had I've been through a lot of shit in my life, and I did something for myself, which was right out that gate, like, and like you said, like, there's Honolulu, there's Rarotonga, hey, there's somewhere, and I'm going to Nigeria, you know. And it was the best thing I did, you know, and it's opened my eyes. And like, a lot of my friends will say that too, like, you know, you've like so different. Well, not different in that way, but, you know, I'm not scared about shit anymore or what someone's going to say or think, you know, things like that. So it really opened my eyes to actually who I am. Because having kids and everything like that, you know, you lose a part of yourself. Your focus is just on that. You're a mum. No, but it was Ros first, you know, so...
You know, those 3 weeks you were there, like, Nigeria itself, like, how is it like what we see in the movies?
Which movies have you seen?
I'm going to say that, can't recall any.
Because they've got Nollywood over there, like, man, their movies are big over there, so they have Nollywood, you know, like how the Indians have Bollywood, then there's Hollywood, yeah, well, they have Nollywood, man, and I haven't watched so many Nigerian movies in my life, but there's some good ones, and they're so funny and jovial people. Like, and polite. Yeah, they're just happy. You know, they're going through shit time, and like they've been through a lot of shit of recent. But man, and they're still happy people. Like, they still have that faith and that hope, and that's what I love. And I couldn't wait to get over there and put my feet on the soil. You know, that's the motherland over there. You know, like Africa. You know, not a lot of people say they've been to Africa. You know, with that part anyway. Yeah, so it's good. So the people were really great over there. The scenery, where we stay, we were in Lagos, in the main centre. There's not the capital, Abuja is the capital, but and we were in Lekki. So yeah, we were right by the Atlantic Ocean. Like, man, when I put my feet in there, I was like, wow, you know, on the west coast of Africa. You know, it was amazing.
Man.
Do you want to go?
I think there's a lot of people like, you know what? Stuff Hawaii, let's go to Nigeria.
I tell you. Know? And the people, just the people are fantastic over there.
What similarities are there with, you know, out there people?
Traditions, like like things like that, or
just like people-wise, you know, are they similar to us? What do they have in common with us? Like, well, you said friendly, so that's kind of us.
But it was like Ranui over there. You know, they're hard workers.
Yeah.
You know, they're always hustling. You know, they've got a bad rep over the years, you know, for like a lot of shit. But, you know, I've known firsthand and I've seen, you know, they're just out trying to make $1 too, you know. And I suppose a lot of us, especially Indigenous people, can say, you know, with shit that's come from the outside has influenced a lot of things. It's like that everywhere, and I've seen it firsthand too over there, you know. So, but their cultures are beautiful. They have so many tribes, so many, like 200 something languages over there, you know, like, what the hell, you know. But their main one is Pidgin, you know, that they speak like street slang sort of thing. But I still haven't gotten on to that. It's so funny. But anyway, yeah, so they're just hardworking people. They're just like us every day. They don't have a lot of benefits that we do, like with assistance and things like that. But so that's why you see a lot of them out on the street hustling, you know, and I respected that.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
So these are the things that you saw that made you feel stronger, or made you feel, this is why I'm strong, or you know how you said like your experiences,
your experience,
of course. Bringing back, because you know my experience, I've been to Hawaii, and there's some stuff in Hawaii
that is one place I want to go.
There's some things in Hawaii that you'd be glad to be living in New Zealand. Like everyone sees the fancy Honolulu, the Waikiki, and all that, but if you go downtown, you see the homeless situation.
Yeah,
it is. You've never seen anything like it. It's like a whole street full of tents.
Yeah,
and it's like a line of tents from here to West City.
Yeah, well, don't
just
get me
on the
wrong.
sidewalk,
you know the Foursquare by the liquor store. You know how they get the potholes in there in the car park and that? Shit, bro. Over there, Nikki, their roads, we could drive, and we'll be driving underground. And those are their potholes. Like, that's the same thing over there. Like, I saw a lot of that too, which broke my heart. Children, even on the street, like, they have main expressways. Children are out there, do you have, and I can't give you can't give, well, not me, but I always try, and you can't give to everyone, like, you just don't have it, and and they're all trying to make $1 too, you don't know who they're giving it to, just the same as here, like, giving someone $1 outside McDonald's or something like that, you don't know what they're doing, which is unfortunate, but we give when we can, but I saw a lot of that over there, like their makeshift tents and things like that too, where they were cooking and stuff like that, but it's sad, like, people don't see that, like you were saying about down those downtown there, you see all the beautiful pictures and that, but so the ones you've seen on the movies, on the Nigerian movies or things like that, no, it's not like that, which it's not. Like, Once Were Warriors, that's what it's like. That's what it was like in Otara, that's exactly what it was, those sort of houses, I grew up in a house like that, or my auntie's place, that's what it was like. So I respect that movie. It's truthful. Man,
Nigeria. So was that the only place in Africa that you went to?
I was only there 3 weeks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, couldn't really go far.
I just want to be awesome experiencing the local traditions and all.
Basically, like, because like my darling, he's involved in music. Like, that's his passion. So I'm behind him 100 for that, because I love music too, but not that side of things, I'll leave the singing to him.
So you're a backup singer? No.
I'm a dancer, man. Yeah, so like a couple of the places we were lucky, there was a jazz club down the road, right on the water, so we got to hear a lot of music. He's a big football fan. They love their football over there, like soccer, or we say soccer, they say football. So got to go to a few matches to watch it on their big screens over there at the bar, and it was good.
Yeah, that's.
I don't know. It's not Australia.
This is like the third time in this podcast that you made me feel like, am I doing enough? Am I doing enough of my life?
I tell you what, if you want it, you'll do it.
Okay.
And I say that about all my tattoos. I wanted it. That's why I sat through there and got that pain.
I
didn't feel nothing. So if you want it bad enough, you'll do it. I tell my kids, they go, "Oh, I want to do this." I'm like, "If you want it, you'll do it." Well, then you don't want it. That's not for you. Yeah.
And that's me, because we've had a lot of, especially the guys that have come through. A lot of our guests that come through, we always talk about learning some stuff of them, but we've also learned a lot of them it's just about perseverance.
Yeah, of course.
And it's about, like, they've always been, a lot of them are just really focused, or I remember we had one of our boys, Aaron, came on, and he was talking about every day he tries to squeeze as much out of those hours that he's awake. There's no wasted time there. He's always trying to make the most of it.
I always say that, make it productive,
Yeah.
If you're not being productive, well, then not doing anything.
Yeah. Do you have little, like, mantras or stuff that you live by, or you just really love your memes and
Yeah, no. I love a good laugh.
Yeah.
I don't have anything that I don't wake up and light a candle and bing and nam yoho renge kyo, that sort of stuff. But I think I don't have anything really. I just wake up and be like, That is actually me when I wake up. What am I doing? You know, that's it. No cool as story for that one. You know, and then I just go to Nigeria. That's cool. Shame.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of tears coming back on the plane back to New Zealand.
A lot of Heineken. Actually, before I even boarded the plane. Yeah. So, yeah. No, there was, because I think it was like the first time in my life I actually did something that I wanted to do. You know, so that was really hard.
Why was it hard?
Why was it hard?
Yeah.
To come home?
No, to do. Oh, was it hard?
No, it was
to
hard
do something?
coming home.
Oh, okay.
You know, because I really loved what I was doing there. You know, like I actually felt I belonged. Like I felt something, and I always felt that. But I, you know, for once I felt it, and I felt like just like I was saying, I really felt like I was doing something for me. You know, not my mum, not my kids, not whoever down the road or anything like that. You know, for myself, and not for him. I did that for me. You know.
Did that feeling kick in while you were there, or did it kick in on the plane, or?
It kicked in when I was leaving Auckland. I was like, man.
Was it kicked in when you paid for the fare? That's when I'm doing this.
No,
kind of
because
stuff, you know?
I worked really hard for that.
Oh,
again,
yes.
I worked hard.
Yeah.
I didn't ask anyone for nothing. I did my shit on the down low, and I got it done.
Yeah.
Plus, took care of my family while I was gone. You know, because it's something I wanted to do. Like we were saying, if you want to do it, you'll do it.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, I'd do it in a heartbeat again. Well, he was supposed to be here, but you know. But yeah, no, I'm planning on going back. So, if his one doesn't come through, the one that's there now, because man, South Africa is shitty. Like that, man. I was cursing this Mr. Chan for months, you know.
Mr. Chan?
Yep. Just kept denying. I was like, how are you there in South Africa? You know, working for New Zealand immigration. You know, like there's a lot of avenues like I suppose I could touch base on. I tried to go through some lawyers and things like that, or maybe I spoke to, Oshella, and she was like, oh, Carmel doesn't really deal with this, you know, but we might be able to, she might know someone or something like that. I don't see what's hard. Yeah, so, I mean, didn't hear it from the horse's mouth, but from a reliable source, the only way he'd be able to ever come here was if I lived there for a year. So my country is willing to send me there for a year, their daughter there, to prove something. I don't have to prove fucking shit to anyone, you know. And I mean, I say this to him every day. I hope there's another couple out there like this stuff, the shit we've been through, the shit we do daily for one another, our families, our own mental health and things like that, and we're still here doing it. I hope, you know, the love is strong. I hope there's other couples out there like that or family that are doing the same thing, because it's beautiful, you know, to have that belief and everything like that. And from being so many miles away and with all the shit we've had to go through. So, yeah, I don't know. When it's meant to happen, it'll happen. So I just smile and keep going.
Man,
that's my mantra.
Yeah.
Keep going.
I just hope the right person hears this, you know, on listening to this podcast, that knows somebody, you know, that can help.
I mean, there's always someone that knows somebody.
Yeah, that's right, and that's what we hope. You know, that's
And I'm not going, and neither of us are going to plead and beg.
Yeah.
You know, the proof's in the pudding. It's right there. We've got nothing to hide. You know, so hopefully, maybe someone. But I don't. That's the trouble with me. I don't rely on people.
Yeah.
I do it myself. Because I hate waiting. That's my biggest pet peeve, is waiting. You know, if you're not ready, bye. I'm going. You know, so. Yeah. And like I said, if it's meant to happen, it'll happen. I pray it does. We pray daily. Yeah. We have faith.
You know, Rosalind, going back to your business, you know, when you make it big, like, you're going to have to hire staff and all that.
I know.
Get new equipment.
Well, actually,
like,
funny you say that. Let's do that, Kōrero, because I would really love to have the youth come in. Not just to make money for themselves. Well, yeah, there's that, you know, but to give them those skills like we're talking about. And I'm feeling like that might be the only avenue I'll have to, without these being involved in these larger corporations, to to be able to teach our kids. And if I can teach 5, that's 5 out there. No, they will teach 5. I don't know, Yeah, I would love that. So, yeah, hiring staff and things like that.
Is it getting to that point now, do you think?
I need a place. Well, if I get a place, yeah. But for now, like I'm saying, me and my daughter, we've catered 150, 200 people.
Just like that? No sweat?
Yeah, a blink, It's not, my God, I've got a big job on this.
Oh, have you? Oh,
it's crazy, yeah. So that's in the back of my mind while I'm here. I'm just like, talking to you and I'm like, yeah, I've got to get that lamb tomorrow. Multitasking.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
So is there anything? So where can our listeners, or where can people get follow you on social media, get more info on you?
Well, I don't have a website yet because I'm lazy and I haven't got up to my mate to do it. And I just have to pass through details and they'll do it for me, and I give them like $12 a month or something. So there's Kare's Kai on Facebook. And then same on Instagram. All my contact details are on there, transparent as what you see is what you get. So, fastest way to get hold of me is my phone number, which is on the pages. So, take a look through the food menus and dates are filling up fast.
Honestly, I'm going to try the chili. Well, there's practically everything there, so Christmas coming up, so I'll pass all that food off like it's mine, but... honestly, it's been... how long?
Years. Not that long.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
A few years.
Well, so since we did finish school in 2004, we are around 32.
You finished school in 2004.
Well, I finished listening around that time.
Shit, where did... God, I think I finished... Yeah, I ended school... Well, I got pregnant with Maya. I think I was beginning of 6th form at YTech. Yeah, fell pregnant with him, and I was working at McDonald's then from the year before, and I just went, got to start providing. And, I left school. Unfortunate, but, it's, haven't regretted a moment of it. It's taught me how to be resilient and get shit done, and when you've got to provide, you've got to provide. Yeah, no mucking around. So I've just been doing that. That's all I've been doing for the last few years. Cool. Haven't missed anything. I'm going to Nigeria, Africa.
Yes.
Hey Rosalind, thank you for coming on our podcast.
No, it's been great. Like, just catching up.
Yeah.
That's
and I appreciate it too. Like, I appreciate if anyone sees it and they're like, hey, I want to order some food. You're all good. I appreciate that. Appreciate being able to talk about our community, our people, our children, and that's what it's all about, and that's what I love, and and I hope something comes from it. If it doesn't, I'm blaming you.
All right, we definitely is coming from this. I can't wait to eat. Honestly, it was too fucking bad to eat. But Kev, what the other Chinese do, Kev?
All right.
Well,
thanks
cool.
everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.